Mark from Stock Pursuit. I'm going to look at some of the stocks that I've been trading that I've been highlighting on my Twitter account. Some of these are long bias, some of these are short bias. A lot of them are in play as rotations that are still going on. I'm going to start here with the short bias ones. I've been talking about the Red Robin burgers on my Twitter account, some videos for a while now. The RRGB is the ticker. This one, I drew up a really long-term level that I found that goes way, way back here to 2015. 2015 was the peak for the stock, believe it or not. The stock peaked in 2015, and it was a double top failed signal there on the breakout. It was a failed breakout bull trap, and that internal line, trend line that goes down, it went all the way down to this year, and it hit it back in October again. This is roughly, I mean, you can't, these trend lines are never exact, but you try to pick one where it hits off the price the most amount of times, so that has a signal. So the RGB just hit off that again. You can see it got above it momentarily and then broke back down each time, but just kind of been hugging that line there for about the past month or so. So try to break out again off the big rally off the election, and then it dipped back down. And I did put on the puts on this one like a week ago, and I did it here once it hit that line and started to seem like it was going to fail. Coursera, the COUR, it's another one of those. It's another one of those ones that seems to be disrupted by the plethora of AI tools that are out there. Because you can get AI to do about anything you need now, and even these free ones, the free models. So if people are paying for a language software or some kind of teaching software, then to me that's could be easily disrupted unless they start really using it or really selling their own AI. But yeah, that one I just had on a short bias because it's just another one that could be disrupted. Like the Chegg, they actually admitted that the AI was hurting their business. So it's kind of, I believe that one's the same, very similar, same business. So this one I still like short bias too, but it's actually hasn't reacted, so it hasn't reacted much with the risk on. So it's still tempting. But a lot of these ones that I've been shorting or with buying puts, that they're just down so much now. Like these EV charging stocks, there's not a whole ton of alpha left because the stocks are so low. One of the other ones that really went today was the Lunar, and I'd had this one on my Twitter account for a while. It just broke, and I was watching it like I was watching this consolidation, and it looked pretty good. And I should have jumped on it with the calls, but still have some shares. I traded the options on it before, but today was really good. Another good volume day. Good volume off of this long, really long flag consolidation. It's really just like another one of those trend line. It just hit off the trend support again. And this one is, to me, the sentiment's more bullish on the industry because of Elon Musk. Talking about, so he's actually publicly talking about the moon bases now and whatnot. So there's a big, I believe there's a lot of potential there with what Musk can do now that he's sort of in the good graces of the presidency or the president, the executive branch. So that one, yeah, this one looks like it's going to keep going. Really, I mean, I may trade the options again on it. I still got the shares, but that's the Lunar. And I'm just going to go through another watch list here. I had the NOTV This was just I had this as a trade setup, and it just cracked over a level today, so that one looks pretty good. The momentum. BSGM still going too. That was another one of these. I believe that was an AI and healthcare one, biotech, and BFRG just got back to a level. Another one was the SGMO, and I've been putting this one out on my Twitter account too, in my watch lists. The SGMO, it's another one of those small cap, the United States small cap, less than a billion, less than 2 billion companies. Like a lot of the big tech pharma, a lot of the big cap pharma, they sold off, but these small drug companies, small drug discovery and medical device, healthcare, small companies have been doing pretty well. So the SGMO broke out really nicely off this really nice flag there. And I traded this one with options actually. It had options, so I bought calls and I sold today in like around like 270 or something like that. So that was a good trade. Like I really look at most of these small cap pharma or small cap biotech. I look at more as trades unless they're really deep value. Like there's a lot of value on the balance sheet because the nature of these biopharma and pharma stocks, especially the small cap, is they run going into phase 1 or phase 2 or whatever, and then they sell off. Like they very rarely hold their gains for extended periods of time. So you kind of got to get in and out, when they get out before they drop, because they tend to always drop at some point if they have a lot of sustained momentum for a period of time. So that's just my thoughts, but that's what I've seen over the years with most pharma stocks that are less there aren't Pfizer or Eli Lilly or something. So that's the SGMO. And there's a ton of these I've been watching, like the technicals on. I believe I put some of these on my watch list. Yeah, that one ALK. That's a really nice triangle. Looks like it's not totally failed yet. It's still holding some trend support there, and the volume was pretty light today. If it has like a sell off with like a normal amount of volume, then that's kind of a big deal. But it still looks okay here. The APLT was one that I couldn't remember the last video, but I've been long this one too, just based off of technicals, because it's been moving. The thing about these small cap pharma stocks and biotech, they once they get momentum, they tend to go for a while. Like I was saying, there usually is a pretty profound sell off at some point. You see it ran a lot there and sold off. But this one's been a steady uptrender, from the 22 lows. This ACRS is still going. Looks like they actually reported earnings yesterday, so it's a good reaction off of earnings here. Seen some follow through here off of earnings, so that's really good. And I'm long this stock too. And this one I found less than net cash, I believe. Just so cheap. It was like really cheap, like a year ago when I was going through a lot of these pharmaceutical companies with tons of cash and no debt. So this one's a good one still. And the AOUT is my most recent Substack article. I did an article on AOUT. I go really in depth with the fundamentals on my Substack. If you haven't checked it out yet, my Substack it's like my handle, stockpursuit.substack.com. And I go really deep in the fundamentals, not too deep, but I look at the fundamentals, and it's still got a nice uptrend. The AOUT. The Fray was the other one. Wow, this is my first time seeing this one since yesterday, and wow, this one I found Actually, it was in June. I thought it was longer ago, but when I did my alternative energy post on my Substack, I highlighted a few companies that are in the alternative energy space. Um, this was one of them, and it was selling for less than net tangible asset value, barely. It was definitely a net tangible asset value, and then they just had some news on on a merger. They bought a company. So my rough net tangible asset value, I recalculated it on this one. I'm just looking that up on my Twitter here real quick. I believe it was 250 a share, basically, and I believe I tried to get filled on some calls on this one yesterday. I'm not sure if it went through, but this one is a good one because it's up. It's because they're now and it's solar too, and it's up. You know, as solar has been selling off the past couple days. At least it was yesterday. So yeah, I can't find my Twitter post on that, but it was pretty much. I think it was 250 a share. So it's getting pretty close. But I mean, of course, it can go over. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's yeah, my Frey. Yeah, I recalculated just off of the debt they were taking, like the note for the note and the cash they were spending for the merger for the buyout. It was yeah, about 250. I think it was like 257 a share. So it's still below net tangible asset value. So that's just tangible assets less total debt. And when I do my what people would call book value, or when I look at the assets, I always if I'm looking at it fundamentally as a value stock, I subtract total debt. So I'm not just looking at the assets. I'm looking at less total all the debt. So that really tells you what the stock would be pretty roughly with if they liquidated the company, what you get. Usually don't find it. It's hard to find companies for liquidation value, but they're out there. And this one was sort of close to that, but not as close as a lot of other ones. Like not as like net cash or something. So that's the Frey. Oh yeah, Sear was a nice one today too. That's one of my favorites in the pharma. Sear's nice. I think the Hyper's a sleeper. Like this one's still like $1, and a lot of these medical device companies have been in play lately, especially with ones with AI and any kind of medical device company, at least in the small cap space that I've been following. So a lot of these are in play. So I don't see why this one wouldn't be too, because they do have a good product, like really good, quote unquote revolutionary, or it's really good. So there's so many stocks to look at. I could do this. I could probably go through like 100 stocks here because there's a lot of good stocks out there. But I'll just call it a wrap because I went through some of the big ones here. But just to make sure, I'll go through the watch list here again. Yeah, NNE. That one, I have a feeling this one's gonna come back. You look at the sell volume on this flag, because this is the flag right here, right? So that's the flag. And you look at the sell volume, it it's nothing like the buy volume on these big days. So it's it's consolidating, and you see that today. Yeah, it popped through. So I think that trend breakdown could be a failed signal if it reclaims. Like if it reclaims this, it's kind of a wacky trend line, but if it reclaims, say roughly 23 or whatever it gets above that trend line, looks like it's a failed signal on the breakdown there. But yeah, this looks like good consolidation. Looks like it's really bullish.